Palm Springs has hired a new director of sustainability to help the city confront the climate crisis and eliminate carbon emissions. I spoke in depth today with Lindsay Page McCloy about her new role and her goals for Palm Springs. Lindsay, first off, for people who aren't familiar with what a director of sustainability is and what they do, tell us about it.
Sure. Thanks so much for having me, Peter. So as the director of sustainability, I work with the team here across the city of Palm Springs to really manage our work to mitigate the effects and adapt to the impacts of climate change. So we're really working backwards in many cities in California from 2050, from 2030. We have a few different state laws that are going to ensure that the state has clean electricity available for everyone, and that we're all working together to reach carbon neutrality by 2050. Here in Palm Springs, we also work closely with Palm Springs Disposal to manage waste services. So really working with residents on recycling, organic waste separation, which is going to start soon. We handle everything from battery recycling pickup to we help collect sharps. So really trying to help make sure Palm Springs maintains its environmental quality and remains the best place to live and work for the next generations to come.
There's certainly been a lot of talk about climate change lately, especially with these rising temperatures. What is it that you're hoping to achieve in this role?
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm really excited about the opportunity to continue to build on the amazing foundation Palm Springs has laid. So Palm Springs has really been a leader, both in the Valley, but also across California in establishing things like desert community energy. 70% of residents in Palm Springs already have 100% carbon-free electricity. That is unheard of. That's crazy. It's great. So what can we do as a team to continue to build on that success to make sure everyone has access to clean, safe, and affordable transportation that's not creating pollution in the environment. Make sure that everyone has access to carbon-free and comfortable homes. Make sure that we're not unduly burdening our environment with our waste. So thinking about things that we can do both across the state in coalition with other cities, but also what we can do here with residents in Palm Springs. Both the small things like making sure that everybody knows where and how to recycle at any given time, to the bigger things like making sure that everyone really has that same access to that clean and affordable electricity. So lots of things that I think we're hoping to do.
I have to admit, Lindsay, you're the first director of sustainability I think I've ever met before.
Wow, I'm so honored.
Are there others like you throughout the state?
There are. So I've had the privilege of working for several, which has been great. So, I'm still a relatively new Californian, if you count this time. I grew up in a military family, so we lived in California a lot, but back as an adult, relatively new. Many cities in California at large, larger cities tend to have a director of sustainability or a chief sustainability officer. I spent some time working for the director of sustainability in New York before I came out here. But we also have organizations like the Coachella Valley Association of Governments who have a sustainability director. So really you're seeing a lot more cities really understand that having a person in this position helps you unite all these efforts across the city, because sustainability is everybody's job. But really it can be helpful to have like a person or a team who's almost like the go-to person if you've got a random question about turf or solar panels or electric vehicles or something like that. So really kind of being able to bring all those topics together, because it could be anything that falls under sustainability, and kind of trying to both be that source of information and help to gather the troops, so to speak. Got a lot of military metaphors in my lexicon, but to kind of help us take on these generational challenges.
All right, Lindsay, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.